I am S.A. Nakalgaonkar from Yogeshwari Mahavidyalaya, Ambazogai. Today we are going to study the chapter Thermal Expansion. We have already studied up to the modes of heat transfer. Now the terms which we are going to study, that is good conductor. Good conductors. This substance, good conductor means what? This substance which conduct the heat easily are called the good conductors. What are the examples of the good conductors? So, all metals are the good conductors of heat. Some more examples of good conductors are steel, silver, aluminium, etc. These are the examples of good conductor you have to remember here. Then bad conductors. Bad conductor means what? These substances which do not conduct heat easily are called the bad conductor of heats. What are the examples of bad conductors? So, examples of bad conductors are glass, wood, air, paper, etc. These are the examples of bad conductors. So, these two terms you have to remember here, the good conductor and the bad conductor. Now we will study the uses of good conductor and bad conductor. So let us study about the uses of good conductor and bad conductor. Here the first point you have to remember that what happens when the hot water is poured in a beaker of a thick glass. We observe that the beaker cracks. This happens because when the hot water is poured in the glass beaker, inner surface of the glass expands on heating. Since the glass is the bad conductor of heat, the heat inside does not reach the outer surface easily. So, outer surface does not expand and the glass cracks. So, this first point you have to remember here. Then, the second point we can say that in summer the ice is packed in a sawdust. Why this is so? Because the sawdust is a bad conductor of heat and does not allow heat outside to enter the ice. That is why the ice does not melt so rapidly. Therefore, in summer the ice is packed with the sawdust. Next point you have to remember here that the cooking utensils are made up of metal with a handle of bad conductor. Then one more point here we can say that mica, the substance mica, it is the bad conductor of electricity, but it is the good conductor of heat. So it is used as electrical insulator in electric iron. Next point we can say that in the winters birds often swell their feathers. Why this is? Because, so here we can say that the air enclosed between their body and feather of the bird, it is the bad conductor of heat which prevents the flow of heat from the body of the bird to cold surroundings. So these are some uses of the good conductor and bad conductor you have to remember here. Now the next article which we are going to study, that is coefficient of thermal conductivity. Coefficient of thermal conductivity. I will explain this with one diagram here. So to understand the concept of coefficient of thermal conductivity, when the one end of metal rod is heated, the heat is flow by the conduction from hot end to the cold end. Now what happens in the steady state? In the steady state, the temperature at two ends of the section remains same. So in the steady state, the temperature at the two sections or the two ends remains same. That means what? That is the quantity of heat which is entering the section per second, that must be equal to the quantity of heat leaving per section. So here experimentally it is found that the quantity of heat Q conducted in the steady state through this section, it is directly proportional to the cross section which is represented by A. This quantity of heat is directly proportional to the temperature gradient which is represented by delta theta by delta x, and this quantity of heat is directly proportional to the time for which the heat is conducted, which is represented by T. So here if the quantity of heat, here we consider the Q, this quantity of heat conducted in the steady state through the cross section is directly proportional to the cross sectional area A. Q is directly proportional to the temperature gradient which is represented by delta theta upon delta x, and Q is directly proportional to the time for which the heat is conducted. So Q is directly proportional to T. So we have this relation here. Now if you want to remove the proportionality sign, we have to introduce proportionality constant. So we have the expression Q is equal to K into A into delta theta upon delta x into T. Removing the proportionality sign, we have introduced the proportionality constant K, and this constant of proportionality is called the coefficient of thermal conductivity of material. So from this equation we can write K equal to, just rearranging the terms here, we can write K equal to Q upon A into delta theta upon delta x into T. So if we consider, if area is 1 meter square, what happens? If A equal to 1 meter square, delta theta equal to 1 degree Celsius, delta theta equal to 1 degree Celsius, delta x equal to 1 meter, delta x equal to 1 meter, and the T equal to 1 second. In that case, if we substitute A equal to 1 meter square, delta theta equal to 1 degree Celsius, delta x equal to 1 meter, and T equal to 1 second, then numerically we have K equal to Q. So these things you have to remember here, that K, which is equal to Q. Here we can define the one term that is called the coefficient of thermal conductivity. How to define this term? See, the coefficient of thermal conductivity is defined as the quantity of heat conducted in steady state. The quantity of heat conducted in steady state through the metal or through the material per unit time, per unit area, per unit temperature gradient. So these things you have to remember regarding the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Now what is the SI unit of coefficient of thermal conductivity? SI unit of K SI unit of K, the SI unit of K is joule per meter per second per degree Celsius. It is joule per meter, it is the joule per meter per second per degree Celsius, per second per degree Celsius. Now, what are the dimensions of thermal conductivity? The dimensions of thermal conductivity, you have to remember here the dimensions of thermal conductivity. The dimensions of thermal conductivity are M1 L1 T to the power minus 3, M1 L1 T to the power minus 3, K to the power minus 1, K to the power minus 1. These are the dimensions of thermal conductivity you have to remember here. So SI unit is joule per meter per second per degree Celsius, and the dimensions are m1, L1, t to the power minus 3, k to the power minus 1. These are the dimensions of thermal conductivity. So these all things you have to remember regarding the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Now